Let's dupe the rainbow. I'm even wearing rainbow colors for the occasion. Today we'll work our way through the rainbow with one red, one orange, a yellow, a green, blue, and purple craft. We're doing copycat home decor from Kirkland's and West Elm. So let's get started on the first craft. We're going to start at the top of the rainbow and work our way down. I love abstract art, and I thought this red on pink framed art was really pretty and elegant. This one from West Elm is $200, so let's see how much cheaper we can make it. I found this set of 3 canvases in the new $5 section at Dollar Tree. The largest one is almost 16 inches, so that is a decent size compared to the little 6-inch ones that Dollar Tree usually carries. These were packaged really well. Each one has individual wrapping. The canvas texture is decent, so I think this will give us a nice look on our painting. I started by taping off the edges. Then I mixed up some white and red paint and didn't fully blend them together. I left some streaks so we can get that artistic, abstract look that we're going for. I'm using a pretty small brush compared to the canvas size because I want control over those small, streaky details. If you're new here, welcome. Please consider subscribing if you like creative inspiration for your home. The community here on Artsy Cupcake is really uplifting and creative, so we would love to have you join for new videos every week. I noticed there was a bit of yellow on the top left, almost like the sun is popping in over there with some fantasy landscape going on. So I added a little yellow paint and I blended that in. For the border, a Sharpie paint pen or just a regular black Sharpie will work. My paint pen started to die after one side, so I used a combo of both on mine. I placed the ruler about 1/8 of an inch inside of that tape, and I painted the black line all along those edges. Then I let this fully dry for about an hour. Now for the ultra satisfying part, removing that blue tape. If you have any spots bleeding over, don't worry about it. Just take a little bit of white paint and cover it up. Here were the supplies we had to pick up. And here is mine compared to the West Elm one. I think they look pretty similar, but let me know in the comment section what you think. These leather wrapped vases are really pretty, but they're so expensive. Even the extra small one is $85. So we're going to make these much cheaper with a material other than leather. Here's a few options. You could use faux leather. This is some leftover that we had used to recover the piano bench. I think even a paper bag would work nicely. This paper bag has a nice texture to it, which could emulate leather with some paint. But today we'll be using this placemat, which I found at Dollar Tree. The back has a really nice texture, and the material is thick yet soft enough to sew through. I have this container that came with a utensil set that I got on Amazon. I just keep my utensils in a drawer, so I saved this container for a craft. I'm always saving any containers or nice packaging that I get because I like to use them for little crafts and DIYs. I measured and cut the placemat to be just big enough that there was a little overlap where the two sides meet. For the thread, we're using this thin ribbon because I want something that can easily be threaded, but also will lay flat and look similar to leather string. You'll need a thick craft needle, and after marking where you want the holes to be, we'll start sewing. I started at the bottom by creating those knots. Then I went to the top and sewed all the loops through. Then I mixed up some orange paint and gave it a coat. I really love how this is looking. Here were the supplies we had to pick up for this faux leather vase. Here is mine next to the West Elm version. Pretty good savings. I love yellow. It's such a cheerful color, and this piece could work any time of the year. This is regularly $40, but it happened to be on sale when I took this screenshot. The first thing I did was create my own version of the sign. I'm a little behind on my blog posts right now, but I do plan on putting any printables that I've recently created up very soon. So make sure to either get on my mailing list or keep checking over on artsycupcake.com if you're interested in free printables for any of these projects. After I was happy with how that looked, I printed it out on regular paper. I'm so embarrassed by how dusty my printer is. What is it about printers that make them collect dust so easily? I can't be the only one with this problem, right? Let me know in the comments if your printer just gathers dust for some reason. We'll be using some Super 77 to secure this to a piece of foam core that I picked up at Dollar Tree. Then we'll trim it out with an X-Acto knife. I'm using these mini Jenga blocks from Dollar Tree. I picked those up in the kids game section and we're using that as the frame. So I measured with those blocks and cut the size accordingly. Hot glue really sticks these wooden blocks down really well to the paper, so I use just a little dollop on the back and carefully put these in place. I added a piece of twine to the back with a bit of hot glue, and then I smeared a bit of hot glue over top to seal it in. Here were the supplies we picked up. And here's mine compared to the Kirkland's one. Green is my favorite color, so I'm excited to recreate this gorgeous wreath from Kirkland's. $25 is actually a pretty good price for this very full looking wreath. But we are going to challenge ourselves and try to make one that's even more substantial looking and much cheaper. Now I know the Kirkland's one said home, but we'll be making ours say love. I'd found this sign off of another sign from Dollar Tree back in February when all the Valentine's Day stuff was out. For the hoop, you could go with a hula hoop from Dollar Tree or a wooden embroidery hoop. I've got mine already painted black here, and I'm just going to tie the love sign to the hoop. We'll be covering up the string with the florals. I cut the tip off the pointy end of the love sign because it was extending just a little bit past the hoop. And then I glued this in place. A little glue underneath and on top to seal it in. I attached some twine before doing the greenery because I thought that would be easier to get this in place before we added all of the florals. I had all these eucalyptus leaves, but I know you can find similar greenery at Dollar Tree. And you would probably need around 5 or 6 branches to get the same full effect. I started by placing the greenery to create the curve on the left. You can see that these kind of make their own little bushels of greenery, so I carefully picked up those bunches and tied them together with floral wire. And then I took those and tied them to the hoop. I like to reuse my florals, so I try to just hook and loop things to the wreath forms versus using too much glue to where it might damage the florals. For the area in between those 2 large bunches, I created 2 smaller bunches and connected those in the same way. Then I went through and fluffed the florals to get a nice curve to this piece. Here were the supplies we picked up, and here is mine next to the Kirkland's one. What do you guys think? We are working our way through the rainbow. Only blue and purple are left. Let me know in the comments section if you're liking this style of video, or if you want to see one particular color scheme in the next video. Hydrangeas are one of my favorite flowers. The blue ones look almost surreal with how bright and full they are. This wreath features those gorgeous hydrangeas, so let's make one for way cheaper than this regularly priced $90 wreath from Kirkland's. They have a couple different sizes and shapes of wreath forms over at Dollar Tree. And they have these gorgeous hydrangeas there too. You'll also want to have some greenery on hand for making this wreath to fill in anywhere that we don't use the blue hydrangeas. Can you tell I shop at Dollar Tree a lot? I really love going there for all my crafts and DIYs. I want to be able to use this wreath form and these flowers again for another project. So we're going to be using a lot of floral wire. I started by placing the hydrangeas so they were evenly spaced. There was one area I didn't have a whole branch of flowers, so I did glue those sprigs together to create a whole grouping of them. Then I filled in with some greenery. I have this lamb's ear and it's perfect for wrapping and filling in any empty spots. I don't use glue here, so this can be easily recycled on another wreath or project. Flipping your wreath over can help uncover any empty areas. And make sure to turn the wreath around as you're working. That way you'll have all the edges and sides filled up with the florals. The last step is to add a few blue daisies to any spots that look like they're needing a little bit more blue. I am going to use glue on these since I'm just adding a couple here and there, and I have very specific spots that I want them to be located. Here were the supplies we picked up at Dollar Tree, and here's mine next to the Kirkland's one. I love the look of this lavender decor, but $65 seems a little steep for some mason jars and a wooden crate. So let's see how cheap we can dupe this one. These were originally signs from Dollar Tree, and I had painted them white and used them in a previous project. I've never tried to break these apart, so let's see if it works. Okay, these came apart pretty easily, and that one edge just needs to be trimmed off. Let's see if this will be wide enough to hold 3 mason jars. Yep, perfect fit. Since we'll be painting this crate and won't even see the bottom once we put that moss in there, I'm going to very roughly glue this together. It actually did hold really well. I filled in the gaps with the glue and then smoothed it out with a piece of wood. If you are not planning on covering this with moss and jars, then you would probably want to use some sandpaper to smooth everything out before painting. We're using brown acrylic paint with a little white mixed in. I had used these mason jars for a previous craft, so I'm just going to disassemble these real quick. You can get these mason jars in the glass section at Dollar Tree. They do come with lids. I gave these a coat of taupe spray paint. While that paint dries, I'm going to work on the bows for the tops of the mason jars. I wrapped a little twine around the top and then finished off with those bows. We'll add some florals and the moss. Here were the supplies we got at Dollar Tree. Here is mine next to the Kirkland's one. Don't forget to subscribe for more home decor ideas every week. I have a whole playlist filled with dupes, so I will make sure to link that for you in case you're looking for just a little bit more inspiration. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a creative day. Bye!